Today is October 6th, the year 2022. As I was driving in to the office this morning, I realized that I'm currently parched. And what I have noticed throughout my trading career, trading profession, is that there is a thing called control systems. It is a subject matter in electrical engineering. I barely passed that course. It was a very, very difficult course. It is a course that requires it really doesn't require the fundamental understanding of its mechanics, and yet still be able to pass the class. The most important part about control systems is that there is an input, there is an output, and there is a feedback. That feedback is sent in to the input, and that input is adjusted to set the output. Now, what happens to people like me is that there is a feedback, but there is not a process that is developed so that I adjust what I insert into the system. And what I send out to what I send out to the world through the system is the same as I want it to be. In other words, the universe revolves around me. Even if a humongous train comes in my direction, the feedback loop is either slow or blocked or takes about a week to process. That is why teenagers, they believe that they're invincible. Their invincibility has a severing of that feedback loop to their executive part of their brain. Or it could be that they're receiving it, but they're really not understanding the message that the world is providing. And so their universe, they are the center of the universe. Now, what happens is when in day trading, there are blowups that occur, meaning lots of money is lost. But there's no feedback mechanism that processes that information so that I can throttle in and out of that input that I insert into the market. At a certain point, something happens. Something is triggered, and that something causes the executive branch to make I suppose it's through numerous repetitive practices that places a muscle memory. That's what it is. Muscle is built on continuous practice of the things that I'm professing about. And once that muscle memory has been connected, it is a feedback loop to whatever I'm doing to allow myself to become aware of what I'm doing. And so the issue is the reality of the situation is, in everything that we do things, for me, I do things not knowing what really is going on in the background. And then only through day trading, and day trading has brought into light the things that I go through in order to perform certain things, and why did this matter become so important? Because every decision that I make impacts 100% of my account. Whereas if I'm doing something, if I am attempting to do a calligraphy, the cost is only time. But in day trading, there's at least two factors. Third being mental capital loss, the financial capital loss, and time. But when I'm doing calligraphy, if I mess up, I just have to erase and keep doing, keep doing. The cost is only minimal. And therefore, I don't really think about the impact of the feedback and processing that information. That is why it creates, so muscle memory is built upon thousands and thousands and thousands of hours making that muscle build up in the brain to make that connection between the outside world and the executive world through the filter of it's essentially fabricating. If I was to talk about this in a semiconductor world, it's essentially designing in a integrated device. That's what it is. So this integrated device is being built and built through the concept of muscle memory. So the brain now is programmed. It's through months and years and thousands of executions, it's been programmed to perform tasks based on the feedback, and there's a dynamic connection. So initially, two brain cells disconnected, and then small fibers start to link together as the blowups occur and trades occur and numerous world events occur that shape the experience that I have as a day trader. And then one day it makes a connection. Then the feedback loop that I'm receiving from the market, my brain is able to process because now it is a direct connection to the executive branch of the brain.